Okay, we're going to do our tatting basics. We've got our needle threaded with a pretty short tail, just a few inches. And then depending on how much tatting you're going to do, you're going to need a length of thread from your ball, which is over there. You're going to need a length of thread that's going to become the core of your lace. The shorter your thread, the more you're going to have to tie off and start again. But for these purposes, I'm just going to go really short just so you can see what's going on. All right, so you lay your needle on top of the thread on your right forefinger. The first half of your stitch, you go underneath and pick up the loop right there. Let me show that again. There's your gun. You're going to go underneath and then pick up the loop right there. It's a little hard to do in slow motion, but underneath, I'm using my thumb to sort of open that loop a little bit, and then you're going to pull that down tight onto your needle. Now you're going to go on top of your thread, and then you're going to take your finger and point to yourself, and you're going to pick up the loop back here on your knuckle and come toward your fingernail, and then pull tight. That is one double stitch. So again, underneath, pick up the loop, pull tight, on top, point to yourself, pick up the loop back here at your knuckle, go toward your fingernail, and pull tight. So when you'll see, a series of double stitches, it's going to look like that. Now when you get to a picot, you do that by starting your double stitch the same way you normally would, but instead of pulling it tight, you're going to use your finger to stop it, so you leave like a little space. Then you do the second half of your stitch, pull it tight, so now we've got the double stitch there. Then you're going to push those together, and that creates your little picot. So again, here's a bunch of double stitches. And then when we want another picot, you start the first half of your stitch, pick up that loop, leave your space right there, hold your space with your finger. Then you do the second half of your stitch, pull it tight, and then push that, snug that stitch up next to the other ones. So that's your basic stitch and your picots. Now let's even this out. Do a few more stitches, and then we're going to close this up into a ring. Okay, so to close this ring, here are my stitches on the needle, all facing the same direction. I'm going to hold at the end where the thread is coming off toward the ball. I'm going to hold my stitches here and push my needle through and pull. All right, now see how we've got like a loop going on down here? I want to make sure that loop stays open so I can put my needle through it. So there's my needle going right through that loop. And then pull tight. Make sure your stitches all stay flat. And there's my ring. Okay, now I'm gonna just tie a little knot to keep that ring nice and tight. There's your ring. All right, now we're gonna do a chain. So again, we're gonna lay our needle on top, right where the thread is coming out to go toward the ball. And let's do some stitches and some picots. Get some more thread here. So let's do a few stitches. Let's make a picot here. make another picot. One more, and then we'll finish off. All right, now with a chain, you don't need to go back through the loop. You're just gonna push your needle straight through all the way. And when you pull tight and you cram those stitches together, it's gonna naturally make that nice little arc. So when you've got your stitches snugged up together, again, you're gonna tie a knot, and now you should have that, a ring and a chain. So we're gonna turn our work. See how the threads are naturally crossing here? We want to encourage this knot not to do that. So I'm just gonna straighten that out and see now naturally those threads are going this one toward the needle and that one toward the ball. Okay, so again, I'm gonna lay my needle down right on top of my work, right where the ball thread is coming out, and start another ring. So there's first half, second half, first half, second half. Let's do 3. There, I just did 4. I'm making this up as I go along. Now I want to join to this picot right here. So instead of starting the first half of the stitch and making a picot, I'm going to put my needle inside this other picot, pick up that thread, and pull it through. And that's the first half of my next stitch. There's the second half. Now you can use a crochet hook to do that. Some people find that easier. I'm too lazy to put my needle down. So let's do a few more stitches and another picot, a few more stitches, and let's do one more picot and a few more stitches. All right, so now we're gonna close our ring again, all right? Again, I'm holding my stitches right where the ball thread is coming out. I'm gonna pull my needle all the way through. See my loop right there? I'm gonna put my needle right through that loop and pull. Now you can encourage that ring to close up. There it is. I'm gonna tie my knot. And there it is. That is basic tatting.